This holiday season, every time you purchase a 12-ounce SnortBucks coffee, a portion of the proceeds will be given to the Penny Foundation, the world's premier charity dedicated to helping down-on-their-luck content creators pay their daily bills.
I need that money. I really do. I need that money. I need my bills, the electric bill, the internet bill.
So stop by your local SnortBucks today and help send some Penny their way.
"2024 is stacking up to be one of the most, if not the most interesting year that I've ever been on the internet for me and possibly you."
Oh, look at that.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome.
Oh my God!
If you had just learned to laugh at yourself a little earlier on, then it would never have gotten this bad.
All right, so let's go ahead and put a pause on that. Season's greetings and happy holidays from everybody here at GTG Network Productions, the Snort Report, SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company, and all of our affiliates and subsidiaries. This is 12 Days Till Goutmas. I am your host. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. So, still continuing the campaign. I don't know how many of these have been put out at this particular point, but I am continuing the campaign, so so it's still coming out, it's still happening, so that works all out. And yet again, I know it's been a number of years since I've been able to do one of these and whatnot, but you know, I'm hoping that moving forward, at the very least, I'll either give you guys some heads up on whether it's going to happen or not, or at the very least, I can at least plan ahead and have these kind of like banged out earlier on in the year. So they're almost guaranteed to come out. But, you know, life comes at you fast. Either which way, we're not here to worry about that. We're here now, and that's all that matters. So, season's greetings and happy holidays. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. And let's go ahead and set up our scene, right? It's all festive and everything. Go ahead and set our scene up and see where we're at with this. Okay, so we're going to have two videos that are going to make up our broadcast, sticking with the theme, so to speak, because we are here with we're here with Mighty D. Big ups. Let's see, what are the videos that we're doing? Here. Sorry about that. Doing all on the fly. One take. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Okay, we're going to have two videos that will make up our particular broadcast, both brought to us by Mighty D. DSP tries it. The Maid is moving in for Valentine's Day. Wow. Or for Valentine's. And then the second video will be DSP tries still crying and begging about taxes. Holy shit. What a time to be doing content and following DSP, I gotta tell you. Wild ass shit, bro. Absolute dishonest bullshit by the king of Gout himself. But fun times either which way. Give me a second to go ahead and settle this up. And make sure that bar is set as high as we can set it, which won't be very high, by the way. but it'll get us started. Okay, so it looks like everything's in order. So let's go ahead and give you guys the first video. Let's just get into it. And yet again, thank you very much for everybody following us for however long you've been following us, and you know what I'm saying, liking the videos and leaving a comment, so on and so forth is all very much appreciated. As you guys also know, first 3 rounds of SnortBucks is on me. So all you guys got to do is leave a flavor down. Put your flavor down of your choice and whatnot, and I'll serve it up. So that's the thing. Very, very small price to pay. If one would consider that a price. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the first video that's going to make up our broadcast / event. DSP tries it. The Maid moves in for Valentine's. This is from January 22nd of 2018. The link, as usual, will be down in the description. Big ups to Mighty D. All right, here we go. That means here we go. I don't mean that. Hey, no.
Whoa.
I just got out of the shower, can you tell? What's going on, everyone? I've got some updates for you, positive updates in regards to streaming and the way things have been going around here. I've got a big positive update in regards to some personal stuff going on in my life that you guys need to know about, because it's going to mean some time away for a few days. So let's get started, because we got so much to discuss in this weekend preview. I want to not make it 45 minutes long, okay?
Back in the day when they actually had weekend previews, holy shit. Haven't seen one of those in forever, which was kind of like his end of, really like the end of the day, but really the end of the week therapy session, if you think about it.
First off, I just want to say thank you to everyone.
Which now that you think about it, all that did, the weekend preview just went ahead and transitioned into the daily wrap. So he wasn't comfortable enough. He didn't feel like he was getting enough attention, you know, once a week. You know what I'm saying? Spilling all of the things that happen. Now we have to do it daily. Make that make sense.
Everyone, we are now on the 21st of January. Today's officially 3 weeks into the new year of 2018. Things have been going really well for me. If you don't know what I'm talking about, on streams, things have been great. Attendance has been overall up. People have been engaged, chatting, loving the streams. In particular, you know, no matter what I'm playing now, people seem to be showing up, which is awesome. Cheering, subbing, tipping, up, way up this year so far. For the first 3 weeks of, you know, January have been absolutely superb. I cannot complain, okay? And in addition to all that, if you're not aware, we are at a record number of subscriptions on my Twitch channel. I had a goal set this month for 450 subs to do an Indies Marathon. We hit that within the first week of January. So then I had a tier 2 goal for 500 subs, and I would redo a DSP Tries It in the Shower video that I did in 2010. That
Jesus Christ, he actually did that too. But here's the thing. The first goal was kind of like... The first goal, like, didn't really mean much because he was averaging between, like, 400 and, like, 600 memberships at that time anyway. You know what I'm saying? There was a time where, like, the average monthly was, like, you know what I'm saying, like 700-800. So hitting 450 wasn't going to be shit anyway. Hitting 5 wasn't going to be that big of a deal either. So he was setting goals that he knew that he was going to hit anyway.
went viral and people really thought was hilarious. We hit that this week. Holy crap, like seriously, I had no idea. Guys, seriously, I mean this. I'm so used to negativity. I'm so used to people on YouTube and on the internet being nasty to me all the time, even though I don't know them, and they all just, you know, pick on me and do stupid shit. I'm not used to the positivity that I've been getting recently, quite honestly. It's overwhelming in a lot of ways. I kind of feel like an up-and-comer again, like I did way back when in, say, 2010, when I was just doing YouTube for a hobby, and I had like a kind of a moderate amount of success, but I never done it for a job. And then all of a sudden, when I lost my office job and I decided to do, you know, video game videos for a living, all of a sudden I started getting this crazy popularity. I almost feel that positivity coming back again with my Twitch channel, okay? Which obviously is great.
But what's going to happen now is 30 days later, are they going to immediately rush back to resubscribe? I don't know. So we're going to see big dips.
And why would you cast doubt on people like that? First off, to be honest, it sucks to suck for everybody who supported him throughout 2017. That seems kind of shitty that, only in the last, month or two, I've been seeing this huge influx of positivity and all these people who give a fuck about me. Before that, I never got that. No one ever showed me any kindness. No one ever dropped a couple of bucks my way. No one ever appreciated me. Only recently do I feel immediately, in the most recent times, do I feel like I'm being appreciated. So sucks to suck for everybody who supported him before that. On top of that, as it pertains to, everybody's being supportive now, but I don't know if they're going to continue to support. Why? That's not something you actually say publicly. You never tell people that. You never cast doubt on an audience that's supporting you, because then it'll make some of them anyway wonder if you really appreciate it. Because he comes across like a Johnny come lately type situation. What have you done for me lately? No, you don't want to be around people like that. That's a terrible sense of behavior or sense of entitlement, really, to have. You don't want to be around people like that at all. And you could say that, well, aren't people like that subconsciously? Some are, but DSP is very much in tune with what he does and how he exhibits it. Whether he can completely control it is one thing, but he knows what he's doing.
In the amount of subs that I have on the Twitch channel coming up soon. So unless we hit, 550 subs the next day or two, I realistically don't see us hitting 550 subs this month. Thank you very much. YouTube is a completely different story. Not because of viewership. Viewership's actually been up this month, but YouTube is terrible this month. No one's making any money. I'm actually making less than half of what I used to make on YouTube this month.
So then how does that make sense? If viewership is up, but ad revenue's down, what does that mean? That legitimately doesn't make any sense. And unless he's overinflating the value of his ads, which possibly.
Because ad revenue's in the toilet. I don't know if it's because they lost more advertisers. I don't know if it's because it's just January and there's no ads to go around. I have no idea. But that being said, the good news is I'm doing so well on Twitch, it's making up for the crappy month on YouTube. So if YouTube even turns around this year, it'll just be like icing on the cake for me. So let's just keep going strong with the positive.
So basically, I'm being a greedy little piggy, and the YouTube money I'm just using as a slush fund for whatever bullshit that I can conjure up to throw money at. And Twitch is what's actually paying my bills. But I'm still going to be a greedy fuck and be like, hey, where's my YouTube money? Where's my monies?
Let's keep moving. I can't block it! Finally! This is a joke. Dude! I couldn't block it.
God damn. Saying that I can't do anything. Finally ends up getting a hit in. Couldn't follow up because that makes sense, because DSP's is pretty slow, actually, when it comes to reactions and reflexes, especially over the last couple of years. And allowed the guy to regroup and then just go ahead and continue the attack again. And boom, he's gone. Yikes. What happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you don't take care of yourself mentally?
Dude, this fucking match is terrible. It says 3 frames.
And physically.
And I can't block anything in 3 frames. No. This is an utter joke.
And keep in mind, this is early game. Like, this was early game. Like, Dragon Ball FighterZ now, he'd get bodied so fucking hard. Holy shit. He would get bodied so hard. Dude, the game has gone through so many different metas. So many different characters have been figured out. The synergy between teams is stupid crazy. Yikes.
This is a fucking joke, dude. Teespring right now, folks. I've got a new shirt. I don't have the piece of promotional art available. Shit. I should have had it set up. Hold on a second. There it is. Wow, well that worked out conveniently. Here it is. The new shirt designed by my fan Insomniatic Me is available to new design over on the site. Go check it out, okay?
So we could give that dude credit for what his design was, right? But the guy who did Philomania, we have to completely and utterly cast his ass into the ether. His carcass, you know what I'm saying, got picked off by the rest of the fucking dead vultures and then just immediately cast it aside. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Pretty good stuff on the Teespring shop right now. And anything you buy from there, I get a pretty
sizable commission. So let's talk
turkey about this week.
But wait a second, Phil. You said that you said what you're currently in our current timeline. You say you get a much larger cut from your current, not Teespring, but your current merch shop compared to when you were on Teespring, where you said you make next to nothing. But right here, you're saying you're making a sizable cut. Oh man, it's almost like I sat there and selected videos that distinctly call you out on your bullshit that you've said over the past year or so. Imagine that. It's all coincidence, I promise you. It's all coincidence. All first verse.
Let's talk.
Turkey. I was going to play this game until I actually sat down and started thinking about it. And here's the reasons why I think I've decided against playing The Impatient. All right. Number one, it's PSVR. And I'm sorry, PSVR is a gimmick that really, in my opinion, it was okay for the first couple times I did it. After doing like a month of PSVR coverage when the thing first launched, I thought it was kind of eh. And then when I finally did it a year ago for Resident Evil 7, I really thought it was superfluous and wasn't needed to play the game. And didn't really add much to the experience of playing the game to begin with. And now, I haven't done VR in a year. The thing is literally sat on my floor over there, untouched, because there's no games out that are worth playing. I see these games that come out, I'm like, $40 for this, you know, and then you'll hear, oh, it's okay, it was okay, you know. Nothing great. There hasn't been one killer app for the PSVR that made the thing worth buying and or worth playing. There really hasn't. And of course, we get all this, oh, don't worry, big AAA titles will be using it, and that has not come to fruition whatsoever. The promise from Sony, a blatant lie, and the thing basically is a paperweight. So now I finally have opportunity.
So you fell for the gimmick. So you fell for the gimmick because you're a fucking mindless fucking NPC drone fucking consumer who buys every little thing thinking that you can make money off of it, or you think it's going to be the next hype thing that's going to put you ahead in the search engine or in the algorithm, and nothing actually came out of it. You're just another fucking drop in the bucket. Wow. It doesn't seem like they ripped you off. It just seems like you're an idiot.
You need to play a game with it. But I think about it, I'm like,
and then the lazy fuck won't even put it back in the box. Just let it sit on the floor with the rest of his broken toys. And then when he finally does decide to actually use it, well, dude, I don't understand why it doesn't work. Oh, because you probably stepped on it like 50, 60, a million times or whatever the fuck. And now it doesn't work. Or you haven't updated it, the firmware on it, so it's fucking out of date. And God knows what else.
The Impatient is going to probably be 6 to 8 hours long. For those who know, from who watched my coverage of the PSVR when it was new, I didn't like the thing that much. The thing made my head sweat. It made the lenses fog up, okay, because of the condensation, the proximity to my face. Basically, the thing made me feel sick with certain games. Only certain ones, not all of them. But there are a few games I played, I've really actually felt physically sick, ill to my stomach. And the thing is just...
So from motion sickness? Holy shit. I mean, I'm sure it's happened because I've heard studies about that where people have light sensitivity or other different types of things or whatnot. I've never personally gotten sick from a VR game, but that's just me, though.
It's so debilitating. It tires you out wearing this heavy thing on your fucking head. About every 20 to 30 minutes, I need to take a break. And I'm thinking, do I really want to try to play a game that I know is going to be at least 6 to 8 hours long? Every half an hour, I have to take a break. That's going to take forever for that playthrough. You know what I mean? What if I start feeling...
Now, keep in mind, this is the idiot who keeps dragging out playthroughs that should be done in like 20 hours. They end up getting 60 to 80 hours. So, let's be honest. Let's not act like this isn't by design.
Motion sick, right? In addition to all of that, what you now have to factor in, folks, is that now I am more of a streamer than a YouTuber. It's just that simple. I am more of a live streamer on Twitch than a YouTuber. I spend more time on Twitch than on YouTube. My focus is on the live streams and not YouTube. I make more money off of Twitch than YouTube. I am a live streamer. I am not really a YouTuber anymore. YouTube is...
So you're trying to say that streamers can't play VR games? Okay. Take it all in, ladies and gentlemen. The king of the dents have spoken.
More of like the place where I vlog or I archive my gameplay from the streams, but it's not my focus. All right. Last but not least, this is it for the week in preview, the final thing. The good news that I have for you is that finally I've solidified my plans for my girlfriend to move in with me. That's right, it's happening. It's happening in the middle of February. The dates are as follows. She's going to be arriving on February 12th, and we're going to be taking the 12th, 13th, 14th, and more than likely even the 15th. 4 straight days away from me live streaming. All right. What that means
Oh,
is that
boy.
there'll be no live streams whatsoever for 4 days. However, more than likely, a few days ahead of time, so let's say the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 4 days beforehand, I may be doing even longer streams, extended streams, basically trying to get extra gameplay footage saved up for you guys so that during the time period when I'm not live streaming, at least I have saved up stuff that I can upload to DSPGaming so the YouTube channel is not dead and dry while, I'm spending time with her and getting her all set up and used to living here with me in the house and in Washington. During that time period, we're going to be doing a few things. Number one, we'll be taking pictures and putting them up on social media. So if you actually want to see my girlfriend for the first time, you'll get it on social media, Twitter, Instagram. That's where you're going to get that.
Now, here's the thing. This is the same idiot that said, oh, well, the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics doxed her. But that wasn't the case. The moment he put the first picture of her out on the gram, it was either 10 or 15 minutes. I can't remember what it was. It was like record time. It may have been even 20. But I'd say it was like 10 or 15 minutes. Bam, they had everything on her. The moment that picture hit the gram, literally, we found out everything about her. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. They found everything. They damn sure found everything. Superwoman wasn't that far behind. And whatnot, because someone found the 2 sound trick, is that what they call? Yeah, it's like sound trick videos. They found that shit. So they found out who Superwoman was. They found all that bullshit. Like, all that shit was, found within the first few minutes, and it just became, like, a cascade of information. The floodgates essentially opened after that. So, and he did that. He did that. He knew that was going to happen. That's why he had to make sure that she was in the Snort fort and locked down so she wouldn't get cold feet. He had to make sure that that she was locked down tight before putting her out there because he was scared that she was going to get ran off. But that would have been his fault, nobody else's.
Okay, you're going to be able to meet her for the first time. We're going to be doing things, for example, we're going to be doing things that are very necessary for her to live here. For example, getting her driver's license and stuff like that. You probably don't care about that. But we are going to be cleaning out the office across the hallway, tossing all the shit out there that we need to get rid of that we don't want. She's going to be setting up the office to be her own. And so once that's done, we'll probably be doing maybe some vlogging around the house. Yes, it is definitely possible that we will be doing some cooking. Maybe we'll even...
Like, he literally tried to turn her into another panda. And it just didn't work. It didn't work. But here's the thing, though, too. Like, and it still doesn't make any sense. He forbade her from going onto the internet. Like, she couldn't use social media anymore. She couldn't use her YouTube channel and her Twitch channel, which she seemed to have invested time into those things. He was forced to give all of that bullshit up. And he essentially tried to own the monopoly of her on all of his channels. Like, what the fuck, dude? And then he got mad. Well, I wouldn't say he got mad. He definitely got discouraged that no content came from it. And then years and years and years later, you know what I'm saying? When we damn sure got the Free Willy moment and we saw how she was as big as Roseanne, it was like, God, dog, dude, what'd you do to her? What the fuck did you do to her? Was it worth it? I guess it's the real question. Was it worth it? Was it worth locking that chick down and just have her vegetating just for you to bring her on stream? Like I said, a couple times the first year or two they were together until it's Tevin's fault. And then years and years and years later, you brought her in and she ain't sat there and plumped herself up damn near to the size of a house. And she didn't have the energy, nor the focus, nor the drive to sit there and want to do content, let alone do it with you. He makes terrible decisions. And it's all completely and utterly on impulse. Honestly. And because he won't take any feedback, he assumes that he's always right. And if he's wrong, it's always somebody else's fault. This is what you guys wanted. Yeah, they wanted that years ago. Not now, when she's already used up, basically. Like, she looked so emotionally drained when she showed back up on camera. Like, dude, she, like I said, she put on all that weight. Her hair was thinning at the top. It was shit. I gotta be honest, it was kind of sad. It was sad to kind of see her in that state. You know what I'm saying? But I also think it was a fantastic representation or example of the physical manifestation of being around Darkseid Phil for too long. Panda definitely dodged the bullet.
Film an episode of us cooking together. Just saying, I don't know. We'll see how we'll play it by ear. That'll be coming up. But yeah, you're going to see some vlogging, some cool stuff happening. as a result of my girlfriend moving in with me. You'll meet her, you'll get to know her name, and see her doing stuff, and you'll get to see her once we have the office set up, see what her office looks like, and all of that. Pretty neat, right? And again, I gotta say something. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, the viewers, you, the stream watchers, and YouTube viewers, and those who came out and supported me, in the past month and a half, 2 months. You really made this an amazingly positive time in my life. At a time when last year was literally the worst year of my life. It was, all right, with all the negative shit that happened and everything, and me not knowing if I was going to be able to keep doing this for a job, and I was being single again, and all this shit going on, and finally, I'm at a turnaround. I really do feel like I'm coming back where it all started, like full circle. If you guys aren't aware, this is the 10th anniversary of me making content for YouTube, and I kind of feel like back where I started, where I was a little up.
You know how pathetic that sounds? You know how pathetic that sounds? You've been on the internet for over 10 years. At this point, he's easily made over $1 million, right? And this idiot has the nerve to sit there and say, I feel like I'm starting over. It's not like, ladies and gentlemen, he was starting a new career. It's not like he was going back to school to try to further his education or something. No, he's a fucking dead bum who after 10 fucking plus years has become worse and is still back in dead bum status and is trying to pick it all up again. That's fucking wild. And all of it was on the internet. All was out there publicly to be scrutinized. And he has the nerve to get mad that people have criticisms of it. You posted the shit online. No rational person would want this information to get out there. Womp womp.
Incoming guy. I didn't have a lot of, no expertise, no real professionalism or training in what I was doing on YouTube. I was just putting out fun gameplay for you guys, and it was honest, and you guys liked the honest commentary. You liked me as a personality, and I became the underdog of YouTube that basically after 2-3 years became a mainstream gamer on YouTube because of my dedication, because I was...
You weren't mainstream. He never made it mainstream, to be honest. He never made it mainstream. He had opportunities to. He could have collabed with other people. He could have reached out to different game publishers and developers, game media. He could have reached out to them. Didn't do it. Was too lazy. If they weren't coming to him and presenting him the opportunity, he didn't care. And that's literally why he never got anywhere. He wasn't willing to put in the work. You showing up and then you putting in the work are two separate things. They're not mutually exclusive.
Honest, right? I didn't pull punches when I did commentary and or when I reviewed stuff and stuff like that, giving my opinions. And it wasn't until, 2013, 14 when the real negativity started hitting. The reason my girlfriend is moving in February is because you guys helped me out in the past 2 months. You got me out of a really bad tax situation. That was not my fault. It was the responsibility.
It wasn't your fault that you didn't pay state and business occupation tax for 3 years, but you made sure Panda paid hers? That makes sense.
Of a guy who I was paying thousands of dollars to take care of this, and he didn't. He basically ripped me off. Come by a live stream. I know many of you who watch my videos here on YouTube and my vlogs, you don't go to the live streams. You just watch the videos on YouTube and that's it. Take a chance. Come to the live streams. I'm telling you, they're so much different than how it used to be. Me playing all.
Jesus Christ, begging for people. Great screenshot. Begging for people to come to the live streams. Holy shit. I almost forgot some of these early begs. God damn, son.
Offline isolate, like I'm in an isolation chamber, just playing the game and just focusing on the game. Now it's so much. I'm interacting with people constantly.
Interacting? You mean begging for money? You mean begging for ways to play through the game? Begging for tips and tricks, basically? That right there is different? I mean, it's different to you because you're a dent. But how is that actually anything interactive or even inspiring for anybody else? Jesus Christ, you're a fucking retard.
These funny jokes, we're all having fun, back and forth. Cheers, subs, tips that I react to, and funny stuff.
Cheers, subs, and tips. Yeah, the most important part of all of that, I'm sure. Holy shit.
That goes on because...
And that's why in present day, 2024, when people say, oh, being a streamer is fucking the hardest job ever, they wonder why they get laughed out at. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking on Twitter. Twitter and Reddit has a field day whenever somebody comes out and says that silly shit. Is streaming exhausting? Mentally, probably. Physically, no. You can't compare streaming to any job, to be honest with you. I'm not saying it doesn't have its merit, but I'll be damned. I'll be damned if I have the nerve to say that streaming is fucking harder than any job that I've ever had. You know what I'm saying? Office-wise or otherwise. That's absolute bullshit. That's absolute fucking bullshit.
It's good, man. Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
Jesus Christ. You gotta love the old outros. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So there's our first one. Now we get into our second one. Yes, yes, one more. One more. All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and actually get the ball rolling. Oh, no! Okay, we're good. I got scared. I got scared. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the second and last video that will make up our event/broadcast. Brought to us by Mighty D. Let's see. Here we go. DSP tries it, still crying and begging about taxes. And keep in mind, this was January 26th of 2018. The link will be down in the description. The video you just saw was from January 22nd of 2018. So we're talking 4 days later. I thought we were in such a better spot. I thought you were so grateful for everything that people gave to you. 4 days later, we bitching and complaining. Can't make this shit up. Here we go. I mean, god damn it! That's the video, bro. Doesn't mean tighten up, baby. Tighten up.
Oh! Welcome to the show.
This year, if you guys aren't aware, is my 10-year anniversary of being a content creator on the internet. 10 years that every single day I've been putting out new gameplay content, vlogging, all kinds of fun stuff for you guys on the internet. And being that it is the 10-year anniversary, I have some good ideas for maybe some celebratory events that I can hold. In particular, some special playthroughs that I'm thinking of doing this summer. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that and get your feedback, hopefully, during the course of this show to figure out, you know, what exactly we could do for it.
But how's it really a celebration when it's just something you're going to be doing anyway? That doesn't make a whole... All right.
10-year anniversary. A decade as a gaming content creator is a pretty amazing achievement.
Not necessarily. Look at Wings. Look at, like, 402 Thunder. Look at... Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can think of a bunch of people. Shit, look at Max. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not part of some exclusive club, dude. Hey, there's a bunch of people out there who do that shit. Like, for example, one of my favorite YouTubers, or Twitch streamers, actually, who does retro games. It's the Mexican Speedrunner. How long have they been on? I remember, like, when they started and they were like, it was literally like a straight up bootleg setup. Like, now, it's still not the setup. It's not even, the setup really never mattered. It was the enthusiasm and the skill that they exhibited, and the knowledge, too. Like, you know what I'm saying? And look at how long they've been around. Like, what the fuck, man? It doesn't really mean anything. You're not part of any exclusive club. You're someone who was allowed in because it was an open door policy anyway, and you never left. Even after getting demonetized multiple times, you still never, you know, took the hint and packed up. Or at least get better. Better with the content, fix your personality, I don't know, something.
Cheers, sub and tip with a question. I'm not just going to drop everything I'm talking about on the podcast to answer your question now. All right?
Sounds good?
All right, baby, yeah. Oh, take my system. Let's get started.
Okay, pretty awesome. That's 2018. I'm still here. In fact, I'm actually getting stronger than ever right now. What do I mean by that? I mean, I am invigorated with... If you can't tell, I'm invigorated with positivity. I'm feeling so good right now.
I mean, the Soul Maid is literally like a month out, so I guess it's unfortunate that you're not, like, that reinvigoration isn't because you're happy that she's coming to live with you and you actually love this chick and you're trying to build a life together. You just need someone else to wipe your ass after Panda left your ass high and dry. That's unfortunate, but whatever.
Because so many positive things are happening in regards to myself, my content, my future. I'm really pumped right now because of all the positive stuff that's been going on recently. Now, you might be saying,
whoa, Phil, 2 months ago you did a podcast on Thanksgiving and everything was uncertain. You were wondering if you were going to have to sell your house and you were wondering what was going on with everything. And now here you are 2 months later and it seems like a completely different attitude. What the hell's going on? What's changed?
all right, fair enough.
I mean, it wasn't that uncertain given all the money that he was getting at the time. So much so that people were still throwing money at him. And he's, for whatever reason, he got scared or whatever and he wanted to go ahead and end he wanted to end it, which made no sense. Like, you got people literally throwing you $20, $30, $100 tips, and you're sitting there saying, no, guys, I need to go, I'll be back later. The fuck, you better sit there and ride that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Who leaves money on the table like that? God damn, son. You should have maybe talked to your brother Rich and shit. Rich would have kept streaming 8-10 more hours if people wanted to throw money at him.
Let me tell you guys just a little bit about what's been going on these past few months. And by the way, before we even get to this, I'll preface this. Am I out of the woods?
No,
Am I financially great now?
absolutely not.
But at least
But you felt that you thought it was a sound financial reasoning to move somebody else in, to kind of, not to say that she was a burden, but to basically make shit tougher on yourself financially, knowing damn well that you're already in bad shape financially. That makes no goddamn sense. All right, bro, whatever.
immediate threat that I had, that, oh my God, I have this impending amount of money that I'm going to owe and I have no way to raise it. I don't know what I'm going to do. At least that impending threat temporarily has been taken care of. And that's why I'm feeling so much better. All right. And it's because of you guys and your support, your amazing amount of support that you showed ever since that podcast in November, right? It really started then. You guys started showing up in droves for streams, cheering, subbing, tipping, being amazingly positive, talking, not listening to the negative bullshit that everyone says about me on a constant basis that I have nothing to do with, and instead just coming to the streams and enjoying them at face value. Things have grown exponentially here on Twitch. If you're watching this live on Twitch, just take a look at the channel. Take a look at how many people are watching right now. Take a look at the positivity and stuff going on in the stream chat instead of the negative shit that used to be.
Wow, look at those back in the day with all that simplicity. It's not that now. Now when he says, look at the stream, look at all the flashing lights I have. Look at my setup. Look at this. Look at that. But back in the day, it was really, well, at least he tried to make it seem like, I should say, actually about the quote-unquote community and what they were trying to build there. Now it's all materialistic. So how'd they go from sentimental to materialistic? Unless it was really always about the materialistic shit. And he just roped their asses in with the sentiment, which didn't mean much anyway. Womp womp.
Around, right? Take a look at the amount of subs I've got. Take a look at the amount of followers I got. Things are going up and up and up on Twitch, and this is amazing.
I busted my ass
to change myself and become more of a live streamer than anything else. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, a bombshell hits me that I was not ready for. I certainly never saw coming. I had paid someone thousands of dollars for years to make sure that they had covered me from shit like this, and the guy didn't do his job.
But see, that's not true. Like, the more that I think about it too, by the way, because as I was going through and myself and some of my peoples were helping me select some of these videos, especially around the tax saga, which I may just go back and just do like a really large video on. Oh, it's going to be, I'm going to take some time though, because it's going to be hard to find some of the assets. But he's blaming the guy in Connecticut for the taxes, right? That he did his taxes improperly, and that's why he couldn't pay the state and business occupation tax. But you made sure Panda paid her state and business occupation tax. It wasn't a matter of because you registered as her as a business, obviously. But the thing is you were on somebody's registry too. Because think about it, the Comcast shit, right? He has business class internet. Think about on his taxes. He was writing stuff off under business related shit. Like, there were so many fucking red flags that it really makes me wonder, how did it take the state of Washington 3 goddamn years to find you? It really makes me wonder how it took them so long to actually get you. And so there's definitely more to the story than, oh, he just woke up one day after Panda left, and all of a sudden he's got all these business class magazines and all this bullshit, da-da-da-da-da. Dude, on most of the businesses or utilities that he's using, he had a business account. You were writing stuff off on your taxes as business expenses. So I can understand why you were getting those type of peripherals being sent to you each and every month. So I don't know. There's something about this story that he's not telling us. It's not as cut and dry as the trolls registered me for all of these things, and that's how they got me. Nah, bitch. Nah, bitch. You just fell through the cracks. You just fell through the cracks, and it just happened that when it rains, it pours. And it came down on you all at once. That's what it was. I don't think it has anything to do with that guy back in Connecticut doing your taxes. I don't believe that for a goddamn second. At all. You skirted the system until it caught up with you. Then you tried to go ahead and throw them under the bus to try to save your ass so you didn't have to pay the money back, which he did. You had to pay all that shit back and some. I mean, that's truly poetic if you think about it.
I should have been paying what's called the state business and occupation tax for doing business in the state of Washington. Now, I was like,
But I don't understand. I don't own or operate a business.
Really? DSPGaming's not a business? Wait a second. Your connection to Teespring, that's not considered a business either? Twitch is not a business? Are you saying that you're just an employee? Is that what you're saying? But then again, he told us for years upon years upon years that he's running a successful business. And that all these kids out here are fucking him over. And that's why he can't make the money that he's used to making, or he should be making, which is the reason why he has to beg as supplemental income. But now he's sitting here saying that he don't run a business. I'm so confused.
All I do is I have a YouTube channel I make ad revenue on.
okay. What should have happened was when I moved here, I should have notified the state of Washington that I was going to be doing this kind of business, and they would have evaluated whether or not this qualified as something that had to be actually be registered as a real business in the state of Washington.
But he didn't need to do that. Well, he needed to do it. Don't get me wrong. Like, he needed to do it. The reason why he didn't do it is because he had Panda. And he had her little soap business bullshit. And she could take the slack, essentially. So as long as someone is producing a product that's being sold and that little bit of money is being taxed on, he was okay with it. It was until it was after, because like I said, it's really strange that the moment she leaves, the moment Panda Lee leaves the Snort Fort, all of a sudden the state of Washington starts knocking on the door wondering where they money at. I'm just saying. It's real weird how that's a thing. It almost makes me think that maybe the state of Washington was on his ass from the get-go. And he was just avoiding the letters. Maybe he was just saying, oh, it doesn't have anything to do with me, Panda. It belonged to the previous owner or whatever. Who knows? DSP's a pathological liar. Who knows what really was going on and what wasn't? And if you think about... let me cook. When you think about DSP's habit of not wanting to go and check his mail, and he's been doing that for years, it also makes you wonder. Because to be honest with you, I've never seen this behavior actually exhibited, but I've heard that people exhibit that type of behavior when they have a lot of bills. And you know what I'm saying? Where motherfuckers are dreading to go to the mailbox. I ain't never dread to go to my mailbox for a goddamn thing. Except for maybe like when it's cold outside and shit, and I fucking gotta walk out there fucking in the cold, even though it's just right down the driveway. But still, outside of that, I ain't dreading to fucking get my motherfucking mail. The fuck? Shit. Most of my bills are fucking paperless anyway. So who gives a shit? But anyway, that's my thoughts though on that. I think he knew about the problem from the get-go and he just kept avoiding it. Or it's after Panda left, something happened. And it would be fucking so dope if it ended up coming out later that Panda was the one who alerted the state business office about that shit after she left. Like she would have had to have called and say, hey, I no longer live at that residence. I'm not calling her a rat. I'm not calling her a snitch, but it would be funny if she said, if she called and said, hey, I'm no longer at that residency, such and such, such and such. But Phil Paul Brunel does live there and he is running his own business. So, just make sure that the proper notifications are going to him as it pertains to it. That would be cool. I'm not saying that that's what happened because I don't know. I'm just saying it'd be cool. That would be rather poetic.
I was like, okay, whatever you say. I literally barely am scraping by, being able to pay my bills and everything on the fly, adjusting in 2017 to become more of a live streamer because of the YouTube ad revenue problem. And now,
but it wasn't on the fly though, because he reactivated his Twitch account at the end of last quarter of 2016. So he was always planning on making that jump. What really forced it was when he fucked himself over with Machinima, because he couldn't have just shut the fuck up and go over there and stream on Twitch. That's really what fucked him over. If he had just gone over to Twitch and done his goddamn job and shut his fucking mouth, he probably could have held on to Machinima for like 18 more months, maybe 2 years. End of story. But he couldn't. He was greedy, and he's lazy as shit, obviously, and whatnot. And he thought for some reason he could bully them into giving him like a pay adjustment, because that's really what he was going for. It wasn't just a matter of that his income was dropping, right? Or it was about to bottom out. He was wanting compensation. He wanted them to kind of cut the difference with him, which No business is gonna do this shit. It's not like you went to order food or whatever and you didn't get half your order. It's not like that. Like, bitch, your views are already dwindling anyway. So your income fell because you're not bringing in views, which was true. He just didn't have the views anymore. You know, you're talking about this idiot, this fucking mongoloid, who went from like 13 million, between 10 and 13 million views a month, down to like 3. Well, it was like between 10 and 13 to like 5, and then to like 3. Now he can't even pull a million. He can't even pull a million views to save his ass. You know what I'm saying? Rich couldn't either. So when you and I'm waiting and whatnot because I need to get some more information on it. But if you really go back and look at some of Rich's analytics on fucking Review Tech USA, the main channel, the million sub channel, everybody keeps fucking harping about and shit. Fuck that million subs. Didn't mean shit. He bought most of that anyway. But when you really look at the analytics behind that shit was already dead. That's why he got rid of it. It was already dead and gone. That's why he didn't mind just letting that shit go to try to keep our RTU streams up and going. The views on that fucking channel was dead, and he knew it. He knew it was dead. That's why he had to start buying bots, start fucking with views, start fucking with the fucking ads and shit. Got himself caught up. They were obviously investigating him, and he was like, "Oh, I'll cut it loose." That's why he didn't run the Keemstar, because Rich has watched Keemstar long enough on Twitter to know that if you have a problem and you can't get YouTube to really help you, the first person one of the first people, because Keem's not the only person. There's some other people too, but one of the people that you could reach out to is Keem. And Keem would have helped him because that makes Keem look good. You telling me Rich valued his ego so goddamn much that he wouldn't reach out to Keem to see if he could get that shit squared away? Or did he not reach out to Keem because he didn't want Keem poking in there and realizing, oh, well, yeah, dude's been manipulating that channel? There was some shade. He didn't want Keem finding out that there was some shady shit going on that channel. And that's why he got rid of it. It's a million sub channel, even though a million subs don't mean shit. Million sub channel that's been found manipulating the sub count, the view count, possibly the ads on the channel using bots. That's a scandal. Especially someone who's as much of a loudmouth as Review Tech USA is. That would have looked bad. That's why it was convenient to get the fucking rid of it. That's what it really was. He wasn't just saving RTU streams. He thought he was saving himself. Something to think about.
Now you're going to tell me, after all that hard work and changes and dedication, everyone loving the content I'm putting out, that now I may have to completely give up on all of this because I owe thousands of dollars of back taxes because some asshole in Connecticut didn't do his fucking job. I was going to owe back taxes from the years of 2014 through the years of 2016, taxes that I had owed and I hadn't paid. I was going to have to register myself as an actual business in the state of Washington in order to keep doing this as a job. I was going to owe taxes.
And which is even more crazy than I think about it, because think about all the tax breaks he was getting. And he wasn't registered as an actual business. This guy was applying for every tax break he could get his hands on, but he wasn't actually registered as a business. Last time I checked, 2 plus 2 still equals 4. And the last time I checked, 10% of nothing is still nothing.
For the business and occupation tax for the year of 2017. The good news is that wasn't overdue. Thank God. I can already tell you, just in the initial things that the tax attorney has done for me, I've paid over $1,000. Money that I don't have. You know, it was money that I put on a credit card that racked up more debt and screwed me over even further. All right. So all this happening, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if, where's this money going to come from? I'm barely making by. I'm barely paying my bills. So I revealed all of this to you guys in November on the last Hate Live podcast. And when I did, I basically said, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, to the bottom line is, if I can't find a way to raise extra money to take care of this issue, I might have to sell my house. Because I have nothing else. I'm stretched to my limits financially with credit. I don't have any more credit left to put more on a credit card or whatever. I just don't have it. I can't take out any more personal loans. I'm stretched to my absolute limits. I've done everything I could to cut back. I got rid of my expensive car, got a much cheaper car. I got rid of extra phone lines. I downgraded everything I possibly could to save. I got rid of my cable, got cheaper stuff there. Literally, I've downgraded as much as I possibly can.
Except for that gambling addiction. Except for that. And then he said, I don't know if he says it here, but he said that he couldn't go to his family because they're already they're already going through their shit or whatever. But then a couple of years later, supposedly an uncle or something was able to throw a couple, like I guess maybe like his mother's brother or something was able to throw some bucks at him, or maybe it was his dad's brother. Either way, an uncle basically threw some cash at him because one of his parents was appealing to them for whatever reason. There's no way DSP reached out to them himself. He definitely went through his parents, because a coward's going to be a coward. So there's that. So keep that in mind. Like it's really, really snakish when you think about it. And all of this shit basically comes down to this idiot's gambling addiction. This dumbass almost lost his fucking house. And that's if it was even that dire. But this dumbass almost lost his fucking house over WWE champions. Fucking A, bro. That's so goddamn wild. In hindsight, that shit is so damn wild.
Without selling my house, all right, in order to make ends meet and try to make this work. In the month of December, people heard what had happened to me. And even though there was all this stupid, really fucking stupid, negative nonsense going on the outside, Phil as an escort, all this stupid shit that's just so dumb and had no substantiation in fact at all. People
actually it did. And see, I'm one of those people that still fight the good fight on that bullshit. Was there a high price, European escort? No. But all of the illicit acts that was basically portrayed financially it was still Kat. He was supplementing, he was paying for Kat to come out and visit him multiple times. He paid for her to move in. He used these idiots' donations to do so under the guise of fucking tax money. Like he misappropriated funds that he said he needed for taxes. And so he could live to go ahead and bring her over. Like the escort saga the escort saga could just be called the St. Jean saga. Same concept. We're just moving Kimberly Brinks out of the way and we're just moving Kat in. Same concept. Still the same shit, same depth and style. The money, right? Is a little, the amounts I should say was a bit inflated, sure, but still same shit. He was still paying for a chick that wasn't his. He was sharing that box. You know what I'm saying? He was sharing that chick's dugout with somebody else, right? And he paid to have her come by and see him multiple times. Now I don't know how Catherine explained that shit to fucking Subaru Man. We never really got an answer on that one, which is strange. But maybe that's just one of those unsolved mysteries of of Goutopia, of the Gouty verse that we may never hear about, the vortex. But it was still the same shit. You just move Kimberly Brinks out and you move Kat in, and it still fits, no matter what. No matter what. You know what I'm saying? DSP didn't break anything. He didn't fucking validate himself. And then even more importantly than that, the person who broke that story was Medicare. If it wasn't for Mr. Medicare, we eventually would have figured it out, but it still would have taken time. But it was because of Medicare in his video that ended up leading Kiwi Farms to go back and take a second look, and then they smoothed it all out. But then once Kat really came into the picture, because he kind of had to reveal her at that point to get the stench of the escort shit off of his ass, then it leads into then you just look at the timeline again, and it still all fits. You were spending money you didn't have on a person who really wasn't yours. You stole another man's horse. I mean, and you were and at that time you were begging and pleading for tax money. I need this tax money to help, get from under the shit, save the house and all this bullshit. And you're flying this chick from Michigan back and forth. I'm just saying.
People took me at my word and said, we're going to help Phil out. They attended the streams. All right. They cheered, subbed, and tipped. They followed. Basically, the month of December, ladies and gentlemen, in all the years that I've live streamed since 2013, the month of December by far was my best streaming month of all time.
Thanks for the money, stupid fuck. People loved paying my bills.
Now,
that was a good edit.
We're not out of the woods yet, folks. All right. The bad news is we still got lingering issues. Okay. Number one, the back taxes that I owe. I don't know what they are. And in fact, I just recently wrote to the guy at the state of Washington who I deal with for this and say, why
are you writing to him? You should be having verbal contact with that guy on the regular. The fuck do you mean? And then that doesn't make any sense either, because when they said you owed us 3 years of state and business occupation tax, they already had it tallied up. They knew what he owed. But he sat there and fed it to these people for months that he didn't know what he was going to have to pay. He had no clue. He had no clue. Just like when he fell back on his federal tax, he knew what he owed. The government knew what he owed, and they sent his ass the bill for it. But he kept bullshitting on that stuff too. So who knows what this idiot told his parents when he got married? How much he owed and how much was really in debt or whatever? We have no clue. Phil is the type of scumbag who could have easily have told his parents, I owe $10,000. I need 10 grand. And to be honest with you, I can see Dave and Linda coughing that up. I honestly seeing that shit. On top of honeymoon money. On top of them paying for him to go out there anyway. Remember, that whole wedding trip, they paid for all of it. Plane tickets, plane tickets, hotel stay, they actually paid for the wedding itself, which is something they just had in their house and in their home and whatnot. They paid for everything. And then gave him a wad of cash to get out when he left. They gave both of them spending money. They gave him money for his taxes, for the back taxes. And then she was going to give him money for the honeymoon. He didn't want that. So they just took the wad of cash that they had set aside for that and threw that with the rest of the money that they gave him. He finessed the fuck out of his parents in 2019. He finessed the shit out of them. God damn, dude. Like, did you forget, like, everything these people did for you? It don't matter. Don't matter. Johnny come lately type shit. Like, these people, like, why do you think Dave and Linda are still, well, at least Dave. I think he's still working. I'm not sure if he's retired at this point. But if he's still working, you understand why. Because this idiot's still bleeding them each and every week. Fucking crazy.
I've heard from you really since December, and I'm going to pay the 2017 taxes that I owe. But what are you doing with these back taxes? You still haven't sent me a formal notice of what I owe, if you're going to allow me to go on a payment plan or not. And basically the guy came back and said, well,
why would you even need a payment plan if you didn't even know what you owed? I'm just asking. Like, why would you even be talking about a payment plan if you didn't even know what you owed yet? Just saying. I mean, obviously you were going to need the payment plan. That's obviously a thing. You were going to need that. But you don't even know what you owe yet. If they really believed your story about how the fucking the tax preparer in Connecticut finessed your ass, then they could have easily waived a bunch of shit, and they could bring shit down and be like, you know, Phil, you owe us a couple $1,000. How about that? You know what I'm saying? You got 6 months to do it. I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
Now that you're registered as a business and you're paying your taxes, you're good. You know, we're going to eventually hit you with this back tax issue, but we'll get to it when we get to it. And I'm like, wow, isn't that nice? So I needed to move my ass and bust my ass in order to get all my information together and get everything done to get it paid or whatever. But now we're just going to kind of wait until they get around to finally doing the work and telling me what I owe and doing.
But that doesn't even sound right, to be honest with you. I can understand the getting you established and get you acclimated to go ahead and start paying this tax and whatnot. I can kind of understand that. But I'll be damned. I'll be damned if you owe this department money and we're gonna sit there and tell you, oh, well, we'll wait off that. If we're either gonna waive it or we're not. Truth be told, we're gonna either waive it or we're not. This whole thing about, oh, well, we're gonna take some additional time to calculate it. We'll figure it out in a few months. Nah, bro. I mean, don't be wrong. The state and government offices do work on their own time. Don't get it twisted, but that don't sound right. That damn sure don't sound right. And because rule number 1, Phil's a fucking pathological liar, and don't ever forget it, you gotta take all this shit with a grain of salt. Himalayan pink salt, by the way. Highest quality of salt.
All that. Gee, thanks, right? I mean, I'm nervous because I don't know what I owe. They're not telling me. I don't know. The other thing that's a factor here isn't the fact of what I owe, but the fees and the interest, because this is 2.5 years of back taxes that I should have been paying all along and I didn't. There's fees and interest now associated with this money. And I don't know how much it could be just as much as the amount of money that I owe. It could double the amount of money that I actually owe on these back taxes. And I have no idea what those are going to be.
Keep in mind, this is someone who's a business major and supposedly has a minor in finances. Supposedly.
You know, it makes me really fucking nervous because that uncertainty.
That ACE certification and that valedictorianship really shining through, ladies and gentlemen. Cream of the crop. One of Connecticut's best. Woo, shit.
Of not knowing what's it going to be, when's it going to be due, How much a month? If it is a payment plan, how much a month? Is it going to be something I can afford? It fucking kills me, man. And again, it's still right here on my shoulder, you know? Sadly, what I think has happened to me in the past several years, I've let myself become inundated with the negative. With all the negative shit that happens around me, the shit that people say about me on the internet, people I've never heard of or talked to who attack me constantly because they're fucking no-lives. It's like, I let that...
But see, how is it that you're able to keep up with all that when allegedly you're not paying attention to any of it? That seems strange. You said, that's a great screenshot, by the way. You said that you don't pay attention to anything that's said about you on the internet. You don't give a shit. But yet, you're literally pinning it on... Sorry, let's remix that. You're literally saying that you know who the players are and you know that they're constantly fucking ragging on you. That's weird. That would require you to pay attention to... Don't think about it. It becomes strenuous at some point when you start fucking trying to put shit together. It just... Don't. And that's the reason why he depends on people being ignorant. Because if you start questioning shit, clearly it don't make no sense. But then it starts to get, then you start getting into like a real quagmire with the shit. Because then it's like, well, why would he lie about something so goddamn small that don't mean nothing? Like, why would he bother doing that? And if he's lying about something this small over dumb shit, it makes you wonder what the actual truth is and what he's trying to cover up. And really, he's just playing fucking mental gymnastics with himself. Not even for a medal. Not even for a medal. He's just doing mental gymnastics for the sake of it. God damn, dude, it gets scary, bruh. It gets scary, son.
Ball up and become a part of me, and then I become negative. And I don't want to be like that. And this last month, if anything, the rallying that you guys have done to support me.
If money can sit there and change your emotion, can change you emotionally like that, then you've probably always been a piece of shit, to be honest. You would, if you're, okay, it's no different than I'm sure most of you have heard at any time in your lives, but I've definitely heard this as a child. If you were a piece of shit before money, you'll be a piece of shit after money. Now, granted, that's not how it was worded when it was told me this. The way it was actually told to me was, if you were miserable or unhappy before money, you will be after money. Money doesn't change that shit. Money doesn't buy happiness. Now, granted, my uncle said that you my uncle says, yeah, you can't buy happiness, but you can rent it sometimes. But you damn sure can't buy happiness, and it doesn't change anything. Money doesn't fix shit like that. If you're a miserable person, a couple of $100,000, a couple of $1 million does not fix that shit. You're going to be the same piece of trash no matter what. If you were a loser, and that's a more of a mentality type thing. If you have a loser mentality before wealth or influence or whatever the fuck, you're going to be just as much so afterwards. The only difference is you're going to be even more desperate to keep it. If you're desperate to keep it, you'll do anything and you'll fuck anybody over to do so. And then you start making mistakes. Then you're going to run into the wrong person. You're going to fuck around and you're going to find out. That's where the real issues come into play. Some of this internet bullshit, it ain't real. It's really not. You're making money or whatever the case may be, cool. But whatever little influence you think, all these people who say they love you and all that silly shit, whatever, it's not real. Can't touch it. It's just something that is said. And you should take that and move on it. You appreciate it, say you appreciate it, keep it pushing. You let that shit start drilling into your motherfucking mind, you can't tell the difference between what's reality and what's this fabricated shit that's online. That's when you start getting into problems.
Is amazing. I'm still gonna owe my tax attorney, my new tax attorney, a lot of money because they are incredibly expensive. Tax attorneys are incredibly expensive, especially when they have to do a special situation here where they had to rectify my back taxes and everything. They're gonna charge me a amount of money. So there's gonna probably be, no lie, thousands of dollars coming up that I'm gonna owe my tax attorney. That's still an issue. All right, that's kind of lingering on me. And I hate to say it, your positivity and your support in December was great and it got me through the short term. But now, sadly, what that does is it creates long-term issues when it comes to my federal taxes. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I paid all my taxes that I owed the federal government as of the end of 2017. But when you own your own business, like I do... and
I thought you said you didn't own a business, though. Okay, I'm just trying to keep the story straight.
You operate, you're self-employed, or however you want to call it. Your taxes are considered estimated. They're based on an estimate of what you were going to make in a year. Now, I can tell you guys concretely that the estimate of what my tax attorney thought I was going to make in 2017 and what I actually made in 2017 are different. In fact, because of the rallying that you guys did in December, I made a big chunk of money at the end of the year that normally wouldn't have been made.
Don't forget about the chunk of money you made in November. Uh-oh, shit's already getting cloudy with this.
And that raised my income. So
Guess what?
I underpaid my federal taxes for 2017, which means come April,
Guess what?
I owe another chunk of taxes that are unpaid. But how would I have known that? There's no way I would have known what I owed.
Wait, first off, if you think about it, his tax, because just like what he said, it was estimated. Your estimated tax for the end of 2017 was already calculated. That's how you knew how much you were going to pay. So whatever was going to happen in the first quarter of 2018 was being calculated. He either doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's actually flipped the script and made a mistake, right? He's confused himself, I should say, or he's blatantly lying, which is probably all three, to be honest with you. He's Phil Burnell's not the sharpest knife in the fucking drawer, obviously.
Because there was no way to tell what rallying was going to happen or anything like that. That's the nature of the beast. When you're self-employed, you never know what taxes you owe.
Well, that's why you're supposed to put money aside each and every goddamn month, idiot. It's easy. It's better to overpay than to underpay. You couldn't even make the bare minimum, allegedly. And now that I think about it, oh man, this is supposed to be fun and festive and shit. But now I got questions. Shit, might as well turn this shit into a Snort report. How the hell did you max out each and every one of your credit cards, equaling what, $180,000 in credit card debt, on top of the personal loans and all that bullshit? And then keep in mind, the majority of that debt, and I've been thinking about this for a while, the majority of that debt was him. That's how he was paying his taxes. He was paying all of that shit on credit cards. He kept maxing the credit cards out and then jumped over to another credit card to refinance, while he was using another set of credit cards for his day-to-day living expenses. This guy literally fucked himself royally. Here's the problem. Where was all the payments going then? Or how many payments was he making? He was definitely only doing the bare minimum. If he got a credit card statement for $200, right? Instead of him paying the $400, he just paid the $200. Or if he could have knocked out the entire balance in one shot and he had the money in the bank to do it, he didn't do it. So it makes me wonder, how the fuck was he really getting shit done? Matter of fact, I don't know if you could pay your mortgage with a credit card. I would think you couldn't, but to be honest with you, in this day and age, you can do anything about anything. Fuck man, you can buy a car on a credit card, so let alone anything else. So how the fuck was this guy paying his mortgages? His mortgage payments. Were you doing that on a credit card too? Like, what the fuck? That's why you see him like a crackhead and scrolling around and doing all that shit now, because the dude ain't got no credit. And it's not like, let's be very clear about this, he doesn't have an Amazon credit card, which he should. I do, because I use Amazon a lot. But like, he's not doing that. He's on that fucking that 4 payment like situation to have. Okay, let me go ahead and explain it, because I actually had to look. I wanted to know how it worked. There are certain items on Amazon that qualifies for this particular payment plan, right? There's 2 different types, but the one in particular that I'm pretty sure he's on is, let's say an item is $300. So they'll split that $300 amongst into 4 separate payments. You pay initial payment 1 on the first month, and then for the following 3 months, you would pay that same amount over the next 3 months, and then it's paid off. So you get the item. They get their first payment up front, you get the item, and then you pay the last 3 payments off over the next 3 months, and you're done. Easy peasy. I'm thinking that's what he's doing. Now, granted, depending on the product and how much it costs or whatever, mainly how much it costs, that 4 payments could easily turn into 8 payments or even 10. So, you got to be careful with that shit. It gets froggy. But I could understand and I could see him doing that. And that's just on a single item. You can do that multiple times. They will extend you. You can literally have 10 different items and have 10 different payment plans. And as long as you can pay the initial payment on that first month, you can have it. So who knows what the fuck this guy is doing? And that shit right there is made for people who either don't have the money, don't have good credit or any credit really, or just irresponsible as fuck. That's not something you should be doing. A plan like that shouldn't be made available. It's because of shit like that, since his wife works retail, dude, I've heard stories of fucking places like, I don't know, I'm gonna pick a random place, like Walmart, Target, whatever. They have this shit where you can actually get an advancement on your check before you've even worked. Like, think about that. Imagine you being advanced on money for hours that you haven't even worked yet. First off, I don't even know who would even think that's a good idea. But let alone, who the fuck came up with that system? Oh, someone that understands that, hey, there are people out there who are irresponsible as shit, and it's easier to go ahead and front you money up front and then slave you out on the back end than to sit there and tell you to be responsible and just save up for it. Because sometimes, and most of us learn this as children, if you save up for something that you really, really want, after a few months or however long it takes for you to get the money, you realize it wasn't really that important. And then some people realize, you know what? I kind of like the fact of having a wad of cash, you know what I'm saying, just sitting around or in the bank or whatever, rather than spending it on some frivolous shit that I'm only going to use for a couple months and then I'm going to forget about it. It's just going to collect dust. Just saying. That's why people like Phil is needed in the economy. You need people that are just NPCs and will go out and buy whatever shiny thing for whatever reason. And with the fucking rise of the internet and the rise of internet content and more internet clout, these people will go out there and spend whatever the fuck they need to keep up with the Joneses. Instead of owning a house, instead of owning a car, not renting a house, not renting a car or leasing a car, instead of owning an actual car, owning a house, buying a boat, taking holidays or going on vacation occasionally, like some of our parents did and even our grandparents did. We're stuck at home with a bunch of fucking electronics that don't mean shit, and most of that shit's going to be outdated in a year or two. This shit isn't hard to fucking see, bruh. And I know I'm not the only person that sees it. But that's how he chooses to live his life. And if he can't afford the nice shiny shit, he'll sit there and frivolously throw his money away on gotcha games and on liquor and God knows what else. There's a reason why he's at where he's at. And I'm telling you, maybe not this generation of detractors, but the next one probably. If I don't figure it out first. But eventually someone's going to figure it out. Is going to really go back and look and figure out what holes are in that story about that state and business occupation tax. Because as of right now, I'm starting to really come to the conclusion that there's something completely fucking off about that story. It was easy to laugh at it and just go ahead and throw it to the side. But now, I actually have some real questions. And now I'm willing to actually go back and take a look at it. What to say?
And no matter, you could overpay or you could underpay, and that some years you'll come up on top where you paid more, so you get a refund, and some years you owe an underpay and now you owe fees and extra money come April, and it's bullshit because the government really should do a better job when it comes to those kind of taxes for self-employed people, but they don't. They leave all the burden on you, and then they charge you fees like you did something wrong. How was I supposed to know I was going to get an overwhelming rallying of support at the end of the year and estimate that I needed to pay more taxes? There's no way I could have known that. But the government penalized.
Remember, this retarded monkey allegedly has a background in finances. Supposedly went to school for business. Just saying. Just keep this in mind. Let's break this shit down for you, right? Because I know most of you guys don't speak dent, okay? You know what I'm saying? And you can't see me on camera, so I can't go ahead and do dentist sign language or whatever the fuck. And I don't have Rob on wheels here to help demonstrate. So here's how this situation works. This idiot is literally telling you, this backwards thinking retarded monkey is literally telling you that, oh, if I make more money, I have to pay more in taxes. I didn't know that. I didn't understand that. That's literally what he's saying. That's literally what he's saying. That's the most retarded shit I've ever. That's one of the most retarded shits I've ever heard. Certainly one of the most retarded shits I've heard recently. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
This is me for that. You should have known.
Okay, I'll get my crystal ball out, I'll shine it up real nice, and I'll shove it right up the IRS's ass because there's no fucking way that I could predict that. It's ridiculous. With the taxes coming up in April and everything, there's gonna probably be times where I'm gonna have to appeal to you guys again.
And see, this is the reason why people say, oh, DSP should have been a politician. Because he would have made a good politician. He wouldn't have. Not at all. He would have gotten caught up in some type of financial scandal, or someone would have finessed his ass out of misappropriating funds for some project to go to another project, and that turns out to be nothing more than like a boiler room type of fucking scam and shit, and he'd be caught left with a bag of shit. Like, there's no way that this dude is competent enough to do so. Like, if it enriches himself, maybe. But as in anything else and shit, like him being able to lobby for other companies and shit like that, or fucking be able to raise money for certain campaigns and this, that, and the third. Nah, you don't want someone like this ass clown right here being in charge of millions of dollars and needs to make sure that they get to certain places at certain times or whatever. And he damn sure is not smart enough to be able to grease the wheels on people. Basically, those company guys who go through and be like, hey, you're working on this particular thing and we need you to divert some of those funds over to this thing right here and this little envelope right here. Well, you don't think nothing about it. You just put it in your desk. Can't have that with him at all. Because he's going to try to find any corner he can in the wheel. And he's going to fuck around and you're going to find out. That's what happens. When you play games like that, if you're not either A, you say, nah, I'm not interested in that deal, fuck out of my office, or you just take the money and do what they ask. If you try to sit there and try to finesse motherfuckers who are out there finessing people already, no. Hell no. That's when the scandals come about and motherfuckers are found in fucking gay fucking bathhouses and shit on some crazy shit. Nah, bruh. You know what I'm saying? He's not, trust me, he's not built to be a politician. He may have all the mannerisms of a scumbag, but that not to be a professional scumbag. No, sir.
To try to save my butt, I know what's going to happen, you know? I'm going to be a realist here. I'm not going to be a jerk, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm being honest with you. I get the feeling, you know, there's going to be times when I'm going to have to appeal to you guys for help this year.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Jesus Christ. Alrighty, well, big ups to Mighty D on that. Holy shit, ladies and gentlemen. That's crazy, Mike. That's crazy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's go ahead and let's see here. Where is that at? Here? Yeah, there we go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming out and whatnot, spending time with me and whatnot, and giving me a chance to kind of rant a little bit. Definitely need to go back and look at the state and business occupation tax saga again. And I'll try to reach out to some people that are a bit more informed, and we'll see what I can formulate. Because, yeah, shit sounds ugly. It sounds super ugly, especially all these years later. And that shit sounds just fucking alien to me, dude. So I need some clarification. But it's the holidays. Fun times all around. Thank you guys very much for coming in and listening in, and I very much appreciate it. Please agrees and happy holidays. Big ups to Mighty D. Big ups to Chio18 for everything that she's done for the channel, for myself, and for all of us and whatnot. And big ups to all of you for giving me a bit of your time. I do very much appreciate it and whatnot. I know times are already stressful around the holidays and shit like that, and it is what it is. And so hearing me rant may there may be some reprieve from some of that for a brief amount of time, either which way. But take care of yourselves, and if the 12 days till Goutmas still continues, I'll see you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And I should. There's no reason why I shouldn't, but life comes at you fast. Either which way, though, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you guys later.